with the one day, one concept idea. We take actually one idea and we explain it to you, make sure that it all makes sense. And today, I want to talk to you about the net energy gain. Yeah, this is what we're going to be defining. So, the net energy gain is also known as the energy return on investment, that EROI. This refers to the amount of energy that is gained from a particular energy producing process compared to the amount of energy that was required to produce. It's simple, right? Excellent. It's often used to assess the efficiency of different energy sources and technology. For example, let me just say that if it takes 1 unit of energy to produce 2 units of energy from a particular process, then that the net energy gain for that process would be 1 unit. It makes sense, right? I mean, you go for one, you have two, one net gain, right? Very simple. This will be considered a positive, net energy gain, as more energy is being produced that is being used. On the other hand, if it takes 2 units of energy to produce 1 unit of energy, then the net energy gain would be negative. Very simple, right? Yeah. So the net energy gain is an important factor, when you consider evaluating the sustainability and feasibility of different energy sources and technologies. If you have a high net energy gain, it means that the energy source or the technology is more efficient and may be viable on the long term, right? And on the other side, if you have a low energy gain, that would indicate that the energy source or the technology is less efficient and may not be as sustainable or cost effective in the long term, right? So I just want you to make sure that this is actually clear and you understand that, because when sometimes you see those terminology, so you need to be comfortable with that, because when you're going to be talking about people, you're going to be seeing those expressions flying around. You want to be comfortable, right? And that's what we doing here. Then the question may be asking it, what is the net energy gain of renewable energy sources? Let me respond to that for you. So the net renewable energy sources, it can vary on the specific technology and also on the condition in which it is being used, right? Some renewable energy sources, like for example, hydroelectric, yeah, or geothermal, tend to have a relatively high net energy gain, while others, like biofuel or some other forms of solar power, may have a low energy gain. For example, again, if you have a hydropower that has a high net energy gain, this is because the energy required to build and to maintain a hydro dam is relatively small compared to the energy that is generated over the lifetime, right? So that's why obviously you see a high energy gain. On a similar level, when you have a geothermal energy that can have a high energy gain, this is because the energy required to drill and to maintain a geothermal is relatively small compared to the amount of energy that is generated on the lifetime. Like I say, it's very similar to hydro, right? On the other side, if you're talking about some form of biofuel, right? For example, if you're talking about corn bean ethanol, this can have low energy, low net energy gain. This is because the energy required to grow and to process the feedstock used to produce the biofuel is greater, right, than the energy contained in the biofuel themselves, right? Similar level, if we're talking about solar power, especially if we have photovoltaic, the PV panels, right? What we have is we have a lower net energy gain. This is because the energy required to manufacture and install the panel is relatively high compared to the amount of energy generated over the lifetime. And this is very much an important aspect, right? Because it tells you whether or not a technology is efficient or not compared to others. And like I say, definitely, we've talked about power. You want to be making sure that you have a good global picture. But overall, we could actually say that the renewable energy sources, they will tend to have a higher net energy gain compared to non-renewable energy sources such as fossil fuel, because the fossil fuel have a lower energy net energy gain due to the energy required to extract, transport, and process them. Yeah, this is what I wanted to define for you. Now you have a proper understanding what net energy gain is. I'm sure in your next conversation, when you're hearing your neighbor talking about that, you'll be very comfortable. You will actually not be sitting here and just pretending you understand everything, because actually you will understand the sound round, right? Excellent. That's what I wanted to say. So if you like it, 3 things that I want you to do. Number one, like. Number two, I want to comment. Number three, I wanted to share. And if you do that, I'm sure a lot more people will get to know about what we're doing here. So you have a great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next day. Take care. Bye-bye.